I'm no bitch.
Whoa, he going so fucking fast, nigga! Yeah, whoa!
Atomic denied, begging for your life. Running your mouth, got your ass in trouble. Face fucked with a shovel.
How the fuck are ya, everybody? I hope you guys are doing great. Check this shit out. Bam. I can just do it from here. Bam. Nice. Thanks, Timu. What are we doing today? What are we doing today? We're going to hang out. We're going to have some fun. We're going to give something away since we didn't give it away last week. We didn't give that flesh rod away. That guy didn't claim it. So, and he wasn't up to, so we're giving away a flesh rod today. Also talking about some of the fixes that are maybe going to be done on that plugin, although I'm not going to be using it today. Today, I put together a really random ass signal chain of plugins that just don't, I need to give, there's a lot of plugins that don't get enough usage around here. And we're going to use some of those plugins today. Sometimes I go through my lists and I'm like, oh, I forgot about you. Oh, that's a good one. You know, and then once in a while, you just have to bust some of these out and go, Jira, I see all the fucking time. I see this plugin so much. So many creators beat this plugin into the fucking dirt. It's obnoxious. I am a big fan of this plugin. I'm going to use it right now. I do love it. A recent interaction with a certain artist sort of soured me on this plugin for a little bit, but not Gojira, and it's got nothing to do with that. It's an inside thing. Anyways, we're going to use this. We're going to get started with this guy today. I believe this is a rat. The DRT is a rat. This is your average. We're going to get started with this Screama. But the thing is about this amp, it's a 5153, probably the red channel. Probably, I don't know. And even not boosted. Like people just say, oh man, it's just a straight up 5150. No, it's not. None of the amps in the archetype plugins are just a straight up amp, except for, to my understanding, the Tom Morello, the John Mayer amps probably. But as far as I understood it, as it was explained to me, that the modeling is very different when they do archetypes. There's a lot of Franken-amping going on, which is awesome. Franken-amping, I hate these fucking people that only want to hear about a plugin that's just based on one amp, when they've never tried the amp ever in their lives. And I've had these conversations too with these people. And it's like, have you ever even tried this amp in person? Why are you so obsessed with it being why does it have to be this amp, you know? And a lot of archetypes involve Franken-amping. If you don't know what Franken-amping is, that is one of the funnest parts about the fucking plugin world. Things that wouldn't always make sense actually via a schematic, or maybe things that have never been done in an actual electrics, like an actual schematic, an actual circuit. Things that might not necessarily work in the plugin in the analog world sometimes do here. So you see a lot of preamp and power amp mixing. Like, what would happen if we use the preamp from a Diesel Herbert and the power section of a rectifier? What would that sound like, you know? And then they just do it and they show it to the artist, and the artist is like, fuck yeah, going with it. I don't know if that actually happened. Today I'm using my free 7-string. I'm gonna brag that my friend, my great friend, gave this guitar to me and just like hooked me up and said, because I had done some work for him, I was gonna do it for free. He's like, nope, I'm gonna give you a guitar and some green stuff. And I'm like, wow, that is awesome of you. So I'm gonna get a lot of use out of this guitar. I'm gonna try anyway. So this light is now obnoxious and it's posting a big shadow. I am trying to nuke my lighting scenarios here. This mic is creating a shadow because it's way too far in the frame again. So we're going to try again. I'm working on it here. I'm working on it. Gonna work on it. Anyways, and I'm going to have to turn up that light in the second half. 10 people in the house. Nice to see you. My name is Tyler. Welcome to the Amp Sim Show, episode 196, I think. We are going to hang out. We're going to get some crazy, nasty tones with a few different things. Today is going to be chugging. If you're not a fan of the chugs, I don't really have... I don't know what to tell you. Today, you can just hang out for the hangs and the chat if you'd like. The tones might not be for you, but I'm telling you right now, you're still probably going to have a good time. We do like to have our chats. The Royal Rumble is this weekend. I'm taking predictions today. Who's winning the Rumble? The list of the list of wrestlers in the Rumble makes it impossible to predict this year's Rumble. I am very excited for it. It's on at 2. Don't forget, it's on at like 2 in the afternoon because it's in Riyadh. And that's going to make it weird, but that's okay. We're down. You might think it'd be one of those situations where they would just like say, hey, you're in Riyadh, you're going to have to show up at like 3 in the morning for this because it's just the way she goes. And because we want to put it on for a good and I don't know, watching a PLE at like 2 in the afternoon could be fun though. Hey, Nils Rollback. Zan's in the house. Wow, we got some good company already. Ton Guitarra, nice to see you. 1-0, nice to see you as well. Eduardo, fresh off his conquering of Nam, he went to Dime Bash as well. Eddie, have you been to Dime Bash before? I'm assuming you have. I'm going to turn up this light, guys. Hold up. All right. Amateur hour. I would also love to find a way to stream and be able to sit in classical. I would love to find a way to do that. And just like, I don't know, that doesn't make sense to me. Playing in classical is so much more comfortable. You can just ask all those sit-down YouTubers and Instagram guitar players. There's a whole bunch of them. Apparently there's some sort of supercut of a bunch of sit-down players totally eating a giant duck, like throwing a duck out there. Sit down players that did a lot of sit down playing at NAMM, but also were forced into stand-up scenarios and showcases with sponsors and endorsements and stuff. And a few of them didn't look so comfortable or sound so accurate standing up. It's a different bag. If you've never stood up and you don't stand up a lot when you're playing, I would suggest that if you're looking to join a band, start standing up to play. I myself have gotten rusty at it, and admittedly, my least favorite way to play guitar on this earth is how I sit with it during a stream. I hate having it on my right leg when I'm sitting. I hate it. I feel like I'm at a campfire with a fucking acoustic guitar singing Sweet Home Alabama. I don't like it at all. I actually prefer sitting in classical, but in a chair, I don't know how that's possible. I don't know. I guess I gotta get one of those like contoured guitars with like the, I don't know. Braun Breaker, you think he's gonna win? Is he in? Oh, sweetie, you do me a huge favor. I opened a pop, but I don't know where I put it. Oh, I left it on the counter. I'm such a I'm so brutal. All right, let's not let it get to 21 minutes before I play a note today. We're Frank and amping today. I'm just nuking both of these. I'm just nuking the cabinet section. I'm nuking that, and I'm nuking this. And actually, no, wait. I'm going to use their loader. I'm going to load my own file using their loader instead. And I'm going to turn that on. Wait, I'm going to turn that off and this on. And let's just get a couple notes out. This plugin, though, gets beaten into the dirt. And it's a great plugin. Yes, this is true. But it came out a while ago, and there's a lot of great stuff that's come out since. And I know there's so many players that just keep going back to it. And I think it's great. And I don't know. I'm not fully hearing what they hear. It's great. And this amp is maybe one of the best amps, guaranteed the best heavy amp in all of the Archetype series for sure. But I don't know if I'm hearing what they hear. You know what I mean? Let's whoa. I want to point out that the Invader is not the brightest pickup in the world. I just wanted to go heavy today. I need to play this guitar more. It plays wonderful, and I have fun playing it, so I figured, like, why not? So maybe I shouldn't use my own IR. Maybe I should use what they want me to use. So let's just do that. Let's stick with the plugin for a minute and go with my familiar stuff and whatnot. Let's see what we got. I was using a pretty dark IR there as well. So that's sounding good so far. Not getting the best of tones off the hop here today. This guitar be bucking. I might just switch it up and go with the Paul Gilbert. Who knows? Maybe we'll take an early break today. Were you able to, or? Oh, of course. That's why it drives me nuts. There should be the auto shut off should be overridden by like note, like signal. If it's just sitting dormant and nothing is happening. Thank you very much. I always you one. I had a very interesting week. Boy, oh boy, did I have an interesting week. Can't really say exactly why, but boy, oh boy, was it a weird week. I'm going to stretch these strings out again as we're sitting here. I'm noticing that's probably why they're fluctuating so much. I'm going to stretch them out again. All right, let's see how much did they stretch. Yeah, they needed to be stretched again. Holy cow. What's that? Anyways, I hope you guys had an amazing week. Tell me about your week. Was it awesome? Give me the highlight of your week. I don't care if it's like a riff you wrote. Something good. The good highlight of your week. Not the bad, because we all have bad highlights of our weeks these days. Let's be honest. There's probably more bad than good in most people's lives these days. That's not the way life's meant to be. But for many of us, life, that is just be it. All right. Pam. A Coca-Cola. Cheers to everybody to a Friday. Beautiful. That's delicious. Yeah, that is not giving me what I want today. Very interesting. The other day I had it sounding just delicious. But today, I really feel like these invaders need to come out. I'm really trying my best to tolerate the invaders, and I'm trying to embrace them. Carl Sanders from Niles sent me his the heights he uses on his personally, and I have not implemented that just yet. But if I want to use the height that Carl Sanders uses with incredibly thick strings as well, by the way, I want to try that. Whatever that height is, I want to try the way he does it and then see what happens. We'll try a couple different heights today, see what's going on. I gotta stay light. If I hit it too hard, it gives me that bowing. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm feeling it so far. Let me show you what you guys... I'm not blaming the amp, by the way. Charles' video is rough. Hold on. Yeah, I went to see Dime Bash before COVID, which was 2022. But you haven't been since then? Really? It's like in your backyard, man. If I was you, I figured you'd be going like every year. But I'm really glad you got to go. Was there some sort of like discount or something through NAMM? You must have seen a lot of very famous people there. There was a lot. Eddie met everyone. Eddie tells me he had like the time of his fucking life, and he doesn't even have to tell me that. I can just look at the pictures and you can just tell you the time of his life there. I honestly really wonder why the Invader is not spoken about more in the Doom world. I've not tried it with fuzz in a Doom sense. Maybe I will at some point, but not in a stream or anything, just as an experiment. I wouldn't mind trying that out and see how that goes. All right, let's try boosting it. No, that's too... No, I'm going to switch guitars, folks. Is not feeling the comfort on this one. I'm going to do a BRB. Hang out with me. Apologies. Amateur hour over here. This just... It's not... If it's not hitting, it's not hitting. And I'm not going to make it into a stream I want to delete. Let's just... If we can save this 15 minutes in, let's save it. Let's go save it with probably Gilbert there. All right, guys. I'll be back. Give me 1 minute here. Boom. Always have a slump buster. Always have a guitar. If you have multiple instruments, or even like we can actually say just plugins as well. Always have that plugin. Everyone should have that plugin that no matter what you're trying to do, you can use. If the tone's just not what it should be, have that backup that you know that if the tone just doesn't feel right that day. And that is like, some people say that's like a guitar, that's what guitar players say when they just can't nail their take. The sound's just not my thing, man. It's not working for me. No, that's a thing. And any real guitar player knows that's a thing. If the sound just isn't happening for you, it's not inspiring you, fuck this new idea that every plugin has to be so like streamlined that it's just one knob. I don't have time to dial tones in. I just want to create. I don't like that mentality at all. I think if you're a guitar player, there's going to be some tone dialing you're going to have to do. And it shouldn't take you so long that it's distracting you from creating. In that case, if the tone's not right, always have that plugin that can bust that slump. For me, that's the Kazrog Ampcraft 1992 or the Mercurial Audio SS11X, or a number of different plugins that I will go to that I know will sound good if something else isn't. All right, let's get back to it and see what we can do here. That's much better. Much better. Okay, cool. This plugin sounds rad like it should now. Let's bring up the low end. Wow, going from a 7-string Schecter neck to a 6-string Ibanez shredder neck is like, it feels like I'm playing a ukulele now. It really does. I'm just like, look at this little tiny neck now. It's a little teeny. Wow. Okay, so that's fucking rad. And I somehow just hammered the crap out of it to where it was like out of tune. It's unsurprising. All right, cool. Yeah, wow. I actually think that I've fallen out of love with B and fallen into love with B flat. A sharp. Whatever it is you say. I've always been a flats guy until I got these tuners that are always sharp instead of flats. I've grown up with flats. E flat was never D sharp. It's weird. It's a strange world. It doesn't make... Get off me. I see you coming, cat hair. Not today. Not up in here. All right, cool. Let's go again. Yeah, I mean, this plugin does rip. It's just like I see it so often that it's almost like it was released yesterday. And I see the same, many creators using it over and over and over and over. And that's great because it always sounds rad. It just, sometimes it's like a lot of the same tone. And if you're making a lot of demos with the exact same tone, I don't know. I just think that players gotta switch things up as often as they can. And there's a lot, so with so many products out there and so many creator relations and artist relations people looking to hand out cool stuff to creators, it makes total sense. It makes total sense to do that. It makes total sense to kind of to diversify. Cool. Wow. We got people. Wow, Oswaldo. Hey. Oh man, Oswaldo's here. Deadly. Eddie met Oswaldo and Oswaldo met Eddie at NAMM. I couldn't be more jealous. There's like so many of the creators that I deal with on a regular basis were at NAMM, and I just would have loved to have been there to meet them, meet them in person, like face to face. It would have been just so cool to do that. But unfortunately, it's just I don't fly. I don't fly, man. And yeah, it's maybe someday in the future. Who knows? Guys, I'm trying to do a cover of Glasgow Kiss from Petrucci, and I'm 2 minutes in. Are my hands hate me? Yeah, I mean, good luck, dude. Good luck. Finished all the content from a tone pack. Yes, Zan has a tone pack coming out with Strange Angles, is it? Or is it Oracle Sound? Because you work along with both pretty often. So which one is it? The invaders are weird. They're dark. They are dark in a sense, but you can obviously brighten them up, and they're tough to control. And I need something where, how do I say this? For me, invaders sound rad in like E flat and D, and when it gets lower and lower, the invaders start to get too loose for the tuning. For me, just for me. I have absolutely zero money to throw at that guitar right now. So it's just going to stay as is. It sucks because I've got a billion different sets of 6-string pickups that still need to go somewhere. And it'd be lovely if I could just throw one of those in there, but I can't. So it's 7-string. And I could probably ask Fishman or EMG maybe, but I've asked them for favors fairly recently, and I don't want to be that guy because I'm a nobody. So I don't want to be that guy and overstay my welcome. You know what I mean? I'm actually going to be learning more and more about Angel. I watched the episode of Dean Lamb's show with his wife there, where they learned where she's huge into Morbid Angel and like old school death metal, which is rad. And he's not, which actually kind of shocks me. That really surprises me how he's like really dancing around not liking Morbid Angel very much and certain old school bands. I was very surprised by that because Archspire is so heavy, and I definitely thought there'd probably be Morbid Angel elements or inspiration in there, but no, maybe not necessarily from him anyways. Guys, I'm trying to do hold on. I'm past that already. Fuck yeah, it was badass. Oswaldo, what's up, dude? Sometimes invaders are muddy. Yes, they are. I find them very muddy. That's more the word I was looking for rather than dark. Muddy. And like I said, if you're Tom DeLonge and you're playing in E, and I've tried. I have a red invader that I put in a strat that it looks very similar, and I'm not sure if you guys remember that guitar. It's seen a few streams, but not many. I think I might even try to put it together again someday. Currently, it's the Slayer strat. It's got a Gary Holt EMG in it, so I could just swap out pickguards. But anyways, even in E, I could not get it to the level of clarity that Tom DeLonge gets it to on, like, say, Blink albums. If you're, and I call them Blink because I've been listening to them longer than they've been called Blink 182. When I say that, I don't know if this is going to get nuked because of this song. I hope not. But, like, listen to this tone off of Enema of the State. If you listen to Dumpweed, the tone here is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. I don't care whether you like this band or not. I don't give a fuck. But that's an invader? Really? And listen to the crunchy part that comes in. It's coming in, if you've ever heard this song before, right here. Listen to this crunch.
It's understood. I said in many ways. I'm too scared to run. I'm too scared to stay. I said I'd leave. I can never leave her.
That to me doesn't sound like an invader. I've tried, and I've gone through like Tom DeLonge tone tutorials. I had all the shit I needed. Could not get that tone to save my life. So I don't know, man. I've never been able to get a tone that I really love out of the Invader. So I think that guitar is, I think I'm going to go active with it. Maybe, I don't know. So far, I've been really impressed with how my baritone has sounded with just a straight up EMG 81 with the 18 volt mod. So I think I'm just going to get a set of white, maybe just black actually. We'll go with black. I don't know. It's pretty sweet and blacked out. Plus it wouldn't match. White wouldn't match the trim. It's all like, I don't think, does EMG make like a cream? That would be interesting. But no, I think I'm just going to go with like a black set of EMGs. Could even go red. That'd be interesting too. I wonder what colors they have right now. I'm going to see if there's a chance. If there's a chance that I can get it. If I can get a set in purple, it's going in. There was a chance. I was so pissed. Years ago, Schecter did I don't know if it was for NAMM or for something else. They did some Ninja Turtle colored guitars, and they ordered a bunch of sets of EMGs from EMG that were all color coded to the various Ninja Turtle headband colors. And I had it. They were right here, and I just didn't. I don't know why I didn't take them. I could have got a set of purple EMG 8185 set. I could have got it, but alas, I don't know if that's still available. If it is, that would be awesome. That song should not be played with that tone. Takes a whole, I don't know why I'm still listening to that. I don't think this is not a good song anymore. Blap. And as always, if we come back into the playlist, by the way, the Tasu playlist, stream playlist, is on Spotify. If you're ever interested in a song that's on you hear here on the channel, it is on that list. Everything we listen to here is on it, and it routinely absolutely screws my Unwrapped right up. My Unwrapped is just a combination of this playlist and my disc golf / car playlist, and it's not always all the songs like my favorite songs either, which is super strange. There was a song that made my Unwrapped this year that's not even on my liked songs list. Weird. Damn. Let's try that one more time. Okay, one more time. Yeah, this plugin fucking rips. Just going through. Great seeing you in Anaheim. Absolutely, man. That's so rad that you guys got to like hang out and just like. Was it at Dime Bash that you guys met too? Or did you guys like go to Dime? Are you in B standard right now? No. This is B flat standard. B flat standard. I've really fallen into love with the B flat standard. It was actually done accidentally because I got a set of strings that was a little bit I had a bunch of strings that were the strings the 62 to 13s that I was using for a long time in B standard, but then after a while I got to like having less tension. And so I had a bunch of sets still, so I'm like, well, I might as well just put them on and drop them down a half step. And it actually turned out it sounds great. I really like the Morbid Angel tuning, and I love E flat as well. So and when your second string is E flat, when your second string is Slayerific, that's awesome. Whoops. Oops. Oops, I haven't played that song in a while. Can any of you guys play fucking War Ensemble with like no mistakes? Fuck, I wish I could. That song, man, that song is not fucking around at all. That riff it'd be great if you could just play it. Wait. I guess you could do that, right? Technically? Fuck, that riff's hard. Hard! This week has given me gray hairs. More gray hairs. Guaranteed. And I have a lot of gray hair. You wouldn't be able to tell because I either always have my head shaved or I've got a hat on. But I've got a decent amount of gray hair that it's this week definitely added probably 15 to 20 new ones. War Ensemble is a good one for endurance. It sure fucking is. Montel Williams. Nice to see you. It's been a while since you jumped in the chat. 14 people in the house. Nice to see everyone. Let's go show you guys what else we have on our list today, because we all know this one rips. And we want to make sure we just don't get stuck on. Although the tone we are using currently is a beautiful. Wow. We also have STL tonality Josh Middleton. Josh Middleton just did... Am I allowed to say this? Yeah, I can. Josh Middleton just did presets for the Secret plugin. Yeah, presets. You got Josh Middleton presets for the Secret plugin. I don't think that's giving away trade secrets. That's just one on an one. I'm telling you, when you see the names, when you first get this plugin, folks, and when you first install, whether it's the trial or you buy it, I'm telling you right now, hit that drop-down menu immediately and look in the preset window. And make sure you're sitting down. I mean, I know that you're all standing up right now, practicing standing up like we talked about. But make sure you're sitting down when you read this list. And we've also got the Diesel Herbert from Brainworks. This is another fantastic plugin. Then we got a couple of freebies in the house. We got Jambi and Nosferatu. If there's a plugin that you'd like to hear on Friday, it's always all request Fridays, and I'll add a few requests depending on what I've gotten and how much time we've got left in the stream. Today we're in here for we're buckled in for a good solid stream here. It's going to be a long boy today, so I'm excited about it. You guys should be excited about it. I hope you are. It's going to be fun. And tomorrow I'll be here at you guys at about 10 a.m. Eastern time. And tomorrow morning is Saturday mornings. We're going to try to get away from the chugs. So Saturday mornings are going to be anything but chugs. If you're a fan of anything except for, if you're a fan of anything but chugs, or maybe you're just a guitar player like myself that likes all kinds of different tones, we might be going over surf. The only time actually that it might be chugs is if we're going after a tone. We're going to do a tone talk on a certain artist that happens to be a chuggy artist. We're going to start throwing more of those in, and yeah. But for the most part, I think you're going to be. It's going to be no chug Saturdays, and hopefully you guys will dig it. So tomorrow, I'm not 100% sure what I'm doing just yet, but we're going to do something fun, and we will be here. So. We've got Nosferatu. If there is something you guys want to see or hear me smash on today, if it is chug appropriate, or can we just say chug appropriate? No, I don't know. That was dumb. All right, cool. And we've also got NAM Universal in the chain, as always, should we want to go that route. Now, we are going to bid that adieu, and we're going to go over to head over. Cat hair. Get off me. We're going to head over here and check out. This is Josh Middleton's tonality that he did with STL Tones. Very exciting. I'm going to go and just set up these channels the way I would normally set up a 5150, because that's the best way to do it, in my opinion. If you are out there and you're like, you want to see it, check on the realism and the authenticity of certain things. Dial them in like you would in real life, and then see where things fit. All right, 421. This is fantastico, but I want this a little bit more like that. And let's see what we got here for Espero. This is a great song. I'm stoked for it. You guys should be too. All right, let's see what we got. It's not quite as... Oh, there we go. That's why it's not very bright. Why did the presents jump back up like that? That was weird. All right, so... That sounds pretty good, though. It sounds pretty darn good. Let's crank up the output a little bit now. I guess there's an update. There are updates coming for some STL plugs, so keep your eyes and your ears peeled. All right, can we all... I'm taking guesses here. Who is going to be the company that does the Driftwood amps Atlas? Apparently that amp stole the show at NAMM, and a lot of people were very, very, very excited about it. I think a Driftwood suite is long overdue. I think it needs to happen yesterday. It should have happened 3 years ago. There should have been a licensed. I know there's one in the Lossy Lomert plugin, but I think there should have been a dedicated Purple Nightmare plugin at some point. You know what I mean? Not that the one in the Lossy Lomert plugin wasn't good, but yeah, I don't know. I just feel like something should have happened by now. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm wrong. You guys let me know in the chat. But who do you think is going to do the Atlas first, whether it's licensed or not? Someone out there is purchasing. It might. I mean, actually, you know what? I'm going to say it's going to be an Tone 3000 first. It's not going to be in a plugin. Or maybe there's already a plugin that's because they were working on the amp in secret. Maybe they were also working on a plugin in secret, and we could have one shortly. Also, could it be that they are just doing their own in-house plugins? Maybe they subcontracted someone to build them for them. They could be doing that, like Blackstar. I don't know that Blackstar subcontracts. I know that Laney does. Laney, but they actually allow the branding, Aurora DSP. So there are some analog companies like Ampeg, for example. They have their own in-house plugin, and it's quite awesome. It's called Ampeg SVT Suite, and it's made by Line 6. And all of the gear inside of that plugin is also available in Helix Native. So it's pretty easy to figure it out. Plus, I think it uses a bunch of the Line 6 update pages and stuff, so it's not hard to figure out that, you know, Yamaha owns both companies anyway, so whatever. But with Driftwood, I don't know. It's like, if I would have bet money 3 years ago that there would have been we've been talking about it every single year, saying, well, this next year this is gonna be the year, next year is gonna be the year that they're gonna do one of these, and it hasn't happened yet. My theory is, though, 2026 is going to be, we have to see those licensed plugins coming in. We have to see those licensed plugins. I hope. Anyways, let's get to the chat. You met a Dime Bash. Nice. What's your opinion on the Howard Benson tonality? It's killer. It's awesome. Wow, we lost a bunch of people there. They don't like my talking. That's cool. No problem. The Howard Benson, that plugin's awesome. It's superb. That plugin's killer. Like, absolutely killer in every way, shape, and form. Oh. For rock, I know that Zan is a huge advocate for the thrashability and the metal abilities inside the Howard Benson plugin, and I think they're there. But if I'm having to suggest, like, what would be the best practice for that plugin, is definitely like rock, anywhere from hard rock to dad rock to, you know, old school, to any type of rock. It can do surf, it can do country, it can do just about anything. But metal, I wouldn't call it the strongest suit of the plugin. However, high gain leads and stuff for like metal albums, if you're wanting to rip out a lead, there's a really nice Marshall in there that would definitely solo well over just about anything. So really, it really depends on what your needs are, but that plugin is whew. However, that being said, a couple of their older plugins are now starting to seem a little bit out of date. Not obsolete by any means, but a little out of date when you see the lavish cab section of like a plugin like the Middleton or the Lossy Lomert, or I actually think the West Borland has one as well. But some of the older ones, you can just hear the difference. The Andy James plugin being, pardon me, the Andy James plugin is a great example of just a plugin that has cool gear. It's made by people that definitely know what the hell they're doing, but it just doesn't rip. You know, it just doesn't do the job. And the Howard Benson plugin, though, just the amps alone are just so fantastically well done that you can just throw your own IRs in there if you don't like the cabs, and it'll just it sounds amazing. The Will Putney plugin is also incredible. Yeah, you do have to boost them. No, the Wes Borland plugin didn't really hit right either. It's kind of a strange selection of gear. His most flagship, like his most notable tones have been rectifiers over the years. They put a diesel in it. I don't know. See, there's no boost in that plugin. And if I'm the go-between, sometimes there's a go-between, sometimes it's someone at the company, but as you guys are aware, I do deal with a lot of artists and their signature efforts. And in that case, I would be telling the artist that, hey, you know, like, I know you don't really use a screamer, but kind of the market standard is sort of having one these days. What do you think about putting one in there? Would it be like super intrusive? Do you think that would work? Like, I know you don't generally use one, but do you think for just the purpose of throwing one in there, like, we'll make sure you can choose the screamer. I'm sure Wes Borland has a whole cupboard full of boosts and screamers and all kinds of things that could have gone along with that big muff. And I think that would have ended up hitting a lot harder. I also find it strange that they went with diesel and not a rectifier, but they still involve the Selmer, which is awesome. And the whole plugin sounds rad. We have it here. I could just throw it up anytime. But Wes Borland, one of my guitar heroes, honestly, he's one of my guitar heroes. And yeah, he was one of my guitar heroes. I was really expecting to love that plugin, but it just didn't hit right for me. And I haven't really used it a whole lot as a result. So anyways, I'm going to switch amps here to the Triple X, which is very well done, I might add. And it's my favorite amp in this suite by far. Fuck, I'm excited for this weekend. Gosh, I love I've really fallen back in love with wrestling, and I don't know why. It's a positive and fun thing to have in life, I suppose. All right, that's cool. Let's bring this back. That's sounding pretty good. Get some more low end in there. Let's get my input taken care of here. Cool. All right, so I'm going to try using my own cabinet here for a moment. We're going to turn the cabinet section off. And no, go away. Oops. All right. And then I'm going to turn this on, but there's a volume drop, isn't there? Nope. There definitely is not. Okay. Bring that back a bit. Okay. Why is that? Woo. Okay. Sweet. All right, see. I missed a bunch. Bow Dragon. My friend just bought a Bad Cat Lynx 50 today for $1,600. This sounds as good. The Bad Cat Lynx is a rad amp, though. It's a fucking awesome amp. There's also some... Oh, my gosh. There are some captures of the Bad Cat Lynx done by Matt Fig that you can go back. I think we've still got the Matt Fig stream. I don't think I deleted that one. And I think that's one of the things we're going to be doing tomorrow. There's one fella that won a plugin this past week, and I'm going to connect with him, let him know tomorrow. We're probably going to be going over we're going to be going over lots of mid-gain, edge of breakup, really solid rock tones for various styles tomorrow. And we're going to be mixing some effects in, some other things. It's going to be interesting. Dialing in some really nice lead tones as well. Also, just noting to everybody that NAM Universal V2 is in development. And the conversation is flowing nicely. We have some amazing ideas. I would love to be able to tell you guys more about it, but unfortunately the competition for the NAM stuff these days is dialing up. So I kind of want to be able to, I don't know, I want to be able to make sure that I don't want to give anybody else any ideas. You know what I mean? Sucks. I don't want to do that. I don't want to give anybody else like good ideas. You know what I mean? Drink my Kool-Aid. Man, this amp sounds great. Let's crank it up. All right, so if you've never heard the story of, this is funny, we were just talking about this in the stream this week. If you don't know the story of the PV Triple X, it's a good one, and you might want to look it up. I will give you the quick notes version of it. Essentially, this amp was designed. I actually heard that it was designed for another artist first, although that artist's name I'm not sure of. But eventually, it was rumored that it might have been Steve Vai. It might have been. There's a lot of shredders' names that came up as to who it could have possibly been designed for originally. But PV got in talks with George Lynch, and that's where they named it. But the circuit itself, the amp itself, was apparently already created, and it was being shopped through different guitarists. They came to an agreement with George Lynch, and if you don't know, the original Triple X had a different grill on it front. We'll go to images. And it had ladies. Is it strippers? Are these strippers? No, I thought there were strippers on it, but it's just ladies. It's just this ladies with a, it's like a female figure all over the grill, and you're like, what an interesting decision, And then because the company was using prison labor to build their amps, George Lynch bailed out of the deal. This is not the super factually correct version. That's all. There are videos that you can go and look up, or just Google it, and you'll see a number of things that explain it. There's a lengthy couple of things on Reddit. You can go check it out. It's actually pretty cool. But then it just went out the door. Now, hang on. Now, if I'm PV, these amps are already made. If I'm PV, I am gonna find another artist to put this amp out. You know what I mean? You're gonna find another signature artist that wanted that amp. Or if you're gonna release it just on its own as the PV Triple X with no signature, good gosh, folks, do a new grill. You know what I mean? There's probably a lot of people that didn't use that amp because of that silly grill. It looked dumb. I always thought, actually, for the first couple years of its life, I actually, back in those days, I thought the Triple X was a solid state amp. But then again, they didn't miss out on much. All that would have happened is that George Lynch would have put a big stack of these bitches on stage and made it look like he was using them, when really it's just his Soldano SLO 100 plugged in and mic'd and all done up backstage. There's many pictures of that happening. You can go look those up as well. George Lynch standing in front of a big wall of amps that weren't even being used. That to me is highway robbery. That is borderline false advertising when you're using a signature amp, and you make a signature amp with a company, you backline it in front of, whatever, 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, 100,000, however many thousand, 200 people, doesn't matter. You backline it, and then you put fake mics in front of it even. You make it look like even they're mic'd up, but those mics aren't doing anything. And then right behind it, you have your actual rig, that's got like 2 or 3 mics on it, and it's got, it's in a road case and it's all nicely put together. And it's just, to me, like, do you guys not find that gosh, that always just cheesed me when I saw that. Like, somebody out there is going to see that guitar player and be like, whoa, that amp sounds awesome. I'm going to save up for one of those. And they work their asses off and they save up $2,000 or $2,500 or $3,000 or however many dollars the amp is. And then they buy that amp, they save it all up painstakingly. They buy that amp thinking that's the amp that they heard on the stage that night. I don't know, man. It's pretty greasy. Pretty friggin' greasy. It's not as if when a signature artist puts out a plugin that people are thinking they use that plugin on stage. Not many guitar players do that. The guy from Distant does, though. The fella from Distant. Nuri. Strippers, LOL. The PV stories are insane. Those lady outlines are like something you'd see on a truck decal. Exactly. That was like, you destroyed the amp's marketability right off the bat. You're going to maybe sell it to certain people that are like, man, I love the hot chicks on my amps. America. You know what I mean? Might be like those dudes. But think of how many people didn't buy that amp because they didn't want to be seen on stage with an amp that had a grill with strippers on it. Jesus Christ. No one at PV thought maybe we shouldn't put a shiny grill, a polished shiny grill on the amp called a Triple X with strippers on it. Maybe we shouldn't do that. Hell, it's the fucking late 80s, early 90s. Send it. Full send. If an artist did that right now, they would get canceled. They would get laughed at by one half of the musicians and canceled as fuck by the other side. That's not true about the triple. What's not true about the triple? You can find Triple X all day at pawn shops for $400 to $250. Maybe before. What do you mean that what do you mean that's not true about the triple? Which part? Triple X's are not that cheap anymore. They are not. I'll bet you anything. You don't even find them anymore. They're like valve states. Valve states used to be able... There was a valve state at my local pawn shop about 6'7". There was a... Hold on. PV Triple X. I'll bet you all I'm going to find is V2. Excuse me. What were you saying? What were you saying? 250 to 300, 250 to 400? Yes, this is Canadian money, but here's a head made in the USA. This is $1,800 Canadian. That is, it's like $1,200 American. You're not finding these anymore. They are now become those amps that producers and engineers and home studio guys are now buying them up to put in their wall of amps. They are. As soon as you started seeing them come out in the plugins and stuff like that, people remembered they existed and remembered how good they sounded, started to see past that silly grill and just started buying them up. Like valve states. Like, try finding a Marshall valve state for a good price. anymore. Good luck. You're not going to find it. You're thinking prices maybe 5-6 years ago. Sure. Let's find valve state. Oh my God, I can't type like this. $600 now, Canadian. $600. These were up to over $1,000 though for a bit. I couldn't find one, and there still aren't a ton of them on here. There aren't a ton of them on here. You've got two, or that's the same listing actually. Same listing. That's it. This guy should be charging more for this. Anyway, no, there's a second one. It's $850. $850. See what I mean? A lot of people are buying them up. They're sitting there putting them on those. They're putting them in their little amp walls and they're on their amp shelves for their backgrounds and their YouTube content. It looks nice, especially if you can get one for a low price, and they're nice amps to have. Yeah, you're not finding those for $250 to $400 anymore. Nope. Oh my God! Plus the 412 cabinet into $4,600. Woo! Plus $800 shipping. Yeah, I'll get right on that. No thanks. Yeah, you're not getting that. You're not finding those for that price anymore. 400. You found one in. All right, if you found one for $400, that's fair. Yeah, I don't know. 400 seems pretty low, but there's deals everywhere. Pawn shops have deals. 100%. But before you leave that pawn shop, you make sure that shit works, and you get them to turn it up too. You let them crank it as loud. They better let you crank it up as loud as you want if you're gonna walk out of there with it, because don't kid yourself. A lot of faulty amps live in pawn shops. But what did you mean though? Did you just mean that the prison story about PV? No, it's not. It is absolutely true. We just saw it in an interview. They posted a link in our group chat just the other day. There's a ton of evidence. Tons of evidence. There's full stories in a YouTube interview and a number of stories about it all over the place. Hold on. PV prison labor. George Lynch. Well, maybe he came out and denied it and said it was a myth. All right, right here. Lynch alleged that he had discovered PV used forced prison labor while visiting their headquarters in Meridian, Mississippi, while he was a PV artist. The town sort of exists for two things. It's the headquarters for PV. There's a lot of prisons, he alleged at the time. I also found out along with the prison workers work for PV. I don't think that having slaves do your work for for-profit corporations is the right thing to do. But thing is, they'll get away with it, which they were. So, yeah, that is absolutely correct. That is 100% true. Now Lynch has finally broken his silence over PV's demand for a retraction, so he's not retracting anything. I like that about him. All right, we're getting past the XXX here. We're just hanging out, just chats today. We're gonna go over maybe is there a new line of guitars I haven't gone over? Let me know. Yeah, but at the time they were building in Mississippi, and that was the time. At the time, that was when the XXX came out. Lynch pin. Yeah, man, that's all I've been using for a while now. Looper on it, very useful. Lynch pin, welcome to the stream. We have not seen your comment before. Wonderful to have you. Thank you for being here, and yeah, hopefully you come back. I'm just telling you, Rudy. I'm not arguing with you. I'm not going to do that. I am correct. This is it. There's no other way to put it. I'm sorry, but in this situation, I am right. I'm not even right. It's not my story. However George Lynch perceived it, what you're saying is he could have perceived it wrong, and that either way, I'm not really sure what you're trying to say about it being wrong, but it definitely did happen, and I don't know what to tell you about it. It's weird. It sounds fucking crazy, and George Lynch. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know about I don't think they're slaves either. I wouldn't have turned down. I think it was a bit overdramatic on behalf of George Lynch if that is indeed true, because they're asking for a retraction, and maybe he was full of shit. Maybe somebody's full of shit. Maybe, I don't know. But George Lynch, I don't know if I would have killed the deal. I don't see prison labor as slaves, because the people in there that are doing that work, they are getting paid, and they have it for money they have money in prison, and they are also making money for their families and shit too. It wasn't all just slave labor. And the people that do that work often get it because of good behavior, and they have to put their names on lists to get on those details. They're cool details some people really like. There are various work details for prisons, and I don't really see it as slave labor. It's not as if they were building the amps in, I don't know, China, and using, stuff like that. But then George Lynch goes and puts his name on a guitar that was, isn't there a current George Lynch, cost-effective George Lynch guitar that's being made in China? That's a little strange to turn down American prison labor, but go ahead and have something made in China. I don't know. That sounds pretty dumb. That's what I mean. They learn a trade. They're learning a trade. They're building amps, and these are also people that often are could be near release or near parole, and they also notably hired a lot of these people full time when they got out of prison. I don't see that as a bad thing. I don't see it as a bad thing at all. If I was George Lynch, I'd like to go back in time and redo that. Take the naked ladies off the grill. Put a cool, like maybe Soldano-ish, more of a mature guitar player's type grill, not like something you'd see in like a 14-year-old's bedroom where he lays at night and goes, she's naked. Like, I don't know, go back in time, redo the grill, rethink the deal, and try to see the positive side of all that. Because a lot of good shit got made at PV by potentially convicts, or at least some convicts. You're learning a trade, though. All of it sounds fine to me. But it is such a PV story. Is this JRE? What do you mean? Am I talking too much? No, just a little bit. All right, we're going to get into some PV. Diesel Herbert. Or are you saying it's like a conspiracy theory show? All right. So this is the Diesel Herbert from Brainworks. Came out a long time back. I am not going to use any of the onboard cabs. They have some good ones, but I don't feel like using them right now, so I'm just going to turn it off. I'm also going to turn off we can leave these on because I can show you how they can be fun. And we'll turn off the noise gate because I don't need it, because I'm going to put a pedal out front. You got to watch these Brainworks amps. You got to make sure you disable the noise gate before you put a pedal out front, as is happens a lot of the time with most of these, because there are no pedals involved here. This, by the way, was also developed by by Igor Nembrini in his time, not Nembrinio, but in his time with the company. So, by the way, you guys know what song this is and what we're going to have to do when that cool part of the song comes. You just know. So get ready for a riff break, because it's coming in probably, it's an Opeth song, so 27 and a half minutes or so. All right, let's see what we got. By the way, this is my Paul Gilbert PGM 301 that I refurbished from, I didn't even refurbish this one. It's just beat up a bit. And this guitar rips. It's got a DiMarzio PAF Pro in the neck. And back here, it has a DiMarzio Evolution, the first version of the Evolution, in the bridge position. Strung up with 62 to 13, and I am in B flat. Anybody that tells you this plugin is old or you can't get good tone with it is dumb. That's just it. And I've seen this plugin for as little as $20. Wow, that sounds good. I don't want you guys to think that this is all just the plugin, though. I want to make sure I go through everything in the signal chain. Free plugin from Aurora DSP, although we really need to put a logo right there. Daniel, gonna put a logo on it. Right here, Aurora DSP. Right there. Yeah. That's gonna have to come. I'm just gonna beg and plead with I'm just gonna bother Daniel every day about just putting out another version of this with right here Aurora DSP or up here Aurora DSP or something. Anything, mister. Also, I'd like to lock in a default. This right here, this should be the default preset. Somewhere around this ballpark, bass on pretty much 0, just a hair up. The treble right about 6 or 7. Someone's middle schooler is going crazy right now. Can we be done with the 6-7? And in the cabinet situation here, we have my favorite IR of all time, the Dr. Bonkers EGA 412 414 Hyperreal Mix. You can get that for, I believe, $9.99 at the Dr. Bonkers store on his website. Wowzers, that sounds so good. Oh, I forget how good these plugins are. The Brainworks diesels are still just fucking immaculate. All right, see what we got here. We got some people in there. Prisoners make all kinds of things, like furniture. Yeah, absolutely. I don't see anything wrong with it. I've seen absolutely nothing with prisoners making things, learning a trade, because they don't have to do it. It's mistaken. They don't have to do this stuff. They can just do their prison time and not have to do any of that stuff whatsoever. But a lot of people that are used to working a day job cannot go to prison and just sit. They have to do things. They want to do things. They like to stay busy. And I've seen absolutely nothing wrong with prisoners signing up for work details. Certain ones are a privilege and certain ones, I believe, are more of a consequence scenario, like when they're cleaning up. I think the number that there are swamp cleanups and garbage cleanups, ditch cleanups, all kinds of. But then there's construction labor. I don't believe construction labor is a punishment. I think that is another work detail that is like sought after. And again, you're making money for your families. It's not a ton of money because it is still prison labor. You're not getting paid a tradesman's wage, but you're learning the trade, you're staying busy, you're getting more skilled for when eventually you're trying to get released, right? So I have no problems with it whatsoever. Depending on the contract, they get 55 cents an hour to $2 an hour. That's good money for being in prison. Do you know when the flesh rot suite drops? I do not know when the full suite will drop. Although, here's what I do know. I know that the rest of the gear for the plugin is on its way to Poland from the United States. That has left. That is on its way. All the pedals have been decided. The Paracusia delay, is it a Weeping Demon? I can't remember the Weeping Reverb. Eddie will know. And then out front, we have the Grim. We have the Fuzz. He is a special fuzz pedal. It's not even on his website. It's something brand new, I guess. It's his own brand of insanity that's going to go out front for the Doom lovers. There's also the Crucifixion that's going out front. There's a whole bunch of pedals, and we just can't wait. We absolutely can't wait. There are a bunch of bugs, as there will always be early on. A bunch of bugs right now that are in the middle of being solved. All the bug reports are coming in. People are definitely doing their due diligence and sending that stuff in. The cabinets are likely to be changed. Don't know exactly what's happening just yet with the cabs, but yeah, that's what I know at this point. Once the gear is in Poland, the gear starts getting modeled, and then the full suite will not come out over my dead body. The full suite will come out once it's been beta tested by the beta team, not just the universe. That would be my preference as well. So we'll see what happens there. It cuts time off your sentence as well, potentially. Nice. That's cool. Oh, whoa. Hold up. We almost missed it, guys. We almost missed it. You know what? It's time for my break anyways. I got to listen to it together, though. It sucks because I'm out of sync. I was missed the one. A buddy of mine learned this in like one afternoon. Took me about a week. On drums, that is. I don't play the song on guitar all that often. I guess I could, though. What is it? I can't remember. It sounds like he's going, but I think he's just going. Man, this sounds good. Holy smokes. Wowzers. Wow. It's got this unique mid-cut feature. These two neat little features I want to show you. There is the Channel 2 gain boost. Which is awesome. And there's this mid-cut feature that I love both these features so much. Well, you'll see. But hammer the mids up a little bit here in the channel and then scoop them out after. You still get that nice twang, but it's just subdued. Wow, it sounds really good with the TC Electronics style preamp in front of it there. Let's go with this guy here, and if you know, you know. It's another pedals from Protone and Wavemind, a wonderful little collab that I helped set up a good while back now. And it produced 3 of really awesome pedals: the Monster Fuzz, the Dead Horse Overdrive, and the mid boost, aka the Gary Holt pedal, without Gary Holt's branding. Wow, it's just awesome. Wow. Little out of tune. What's going on, Exhumed Corpse? How are you? The early access version, and it's very good. Just wanted to know when the full suite drops. I don't have a date on that for you. 16 people in the house. Wow, nice to see you. My name is Tyler. Welcome to the AmpSim Show. Just guitar hangs today. Probably more chatting than guitar. We are using a succession of plugins today. Currently, I'm using the Diesel Herbert from Brainworks, which you can get when it's on sale. Wow, they do sales. Brainworks does not fuck about when it comes to sales. This one is not resizable. A couple of the newer ones have the ability to get a little bit larger, but this one does not, I don't believe. No, it's not. Anyways, it's pretty sick. I love this and the VH4. You've seen the VH4 plenty, but this has not been seen that often on the channel. And yet it won my favorite plugin of the year when I was doing honest amp sim reviews. It was a tie between this and the VH4 when they first came out. The year they came out, I couldn't believe how good they are. I still cannot believe how good these are. So freaking good. And I hope that Igor is able to do these amps again under the Nembrini Audio banner. I don't know what I don't know what the story is. I know there's already a little tiny bit of crossover from his time with Brainworks. If you look at his current selection, there's a little bit of it. It would be absolutely lovely to see the diesels pop up. They don't have to be brand or licensed. They can be, you know, parody names like the Herbie McHerb or the VH with CH4, whatever you want to call them, parody names, goofy names, unlicensed names, we'll call them. But this is just such a fantastic plugin. If you get a chance to grab these, they do sales all the fucking time. They also, if you sign up for their mailing list over at the Plugin Alliance, you can't buy anything from Brainworks direct. It's all sold through Plugin Alliance, and you go there, you can get guitar bundles, subscription bundles and stuff, all kinds of things at Plugin Alliance. So head over there and really have a good look at their guitar stuff. If you've never been to the Plugin Alliance and you've never looked at their guitar stuff and their bass stuff, I highly suggest that even on the break here, you guys go have a look. Igor Nembrini, we know how absolutely fucking talented that man is. His own brand is amazing. Prior to his own brand, Nembrini Audio, he built everything guitar and bass related for Brainworks. Back in the day, they used to fucking hate. They used to hate back in the day when I would tell people that in streams. But then it became very apparent because he started putting the Nembrini Audio branding on the last few before the switchover came. Because when he first started Nembrini Audio, he was still employed by Brainworks, and he had a few more amps to build, and there was a bit of a crossover. And then, of course, he stopped this and did full-time this. I will also note that Nembrini Audio has something very cool and very big happening. There's a good reason he has not done a release in a little bit, and you're going to find out that reason pretty soon. And it's awesome. I have to tell you, I'm very excited by this move. Hey, Brain Dad, nice to see you. And Lynchpin, welcome to the stream. As mentioned before, nice to see you. You spoke. I don't know if you've chatted with us before. The Diesel guys, look, we got 16 people in the chat, and the chat is at it's a snail's pace, folks. Jump in with us. Jump in. You might win something. I am giving away 2 plugins today from Aurora DSP. Also, another thing, if you're not going to go over and check out the bass and guitar gear, or maybe you already have, go and check out the freeware at Aurora DSP during the break. I will be right back. Please do give me sorry, folks. I don't know why. Did I hit the graphic button? That was weird. Whoopsie. Sorry, folks. What happened there is I accidentally hit the graphic button. And I just wanted to quickly explain before I go on the break. I moved my Stream Deck. I hit the graphic button with my pinky finger. And since the graphic was laid to waste with the destruction of my drive, all my stream graphics and my graphics, you guys know that opening graphic I used to use, all roasted because of this, because of the drive. So yeah, that's what happened there. Anyways, be right back. Yeah. What's going on? You guys are listening to my solo album. I am a multi-instrumentalist. That's all me. Every note. You imagine? You imagine being that talented at any instrument? The liquid tension experiment was awesome. I loved it. It's like you're listening to Dream Theater, but a little faster and without the terrible vocals. Am I saying James LeBrie is a terrible vocalist? No. I just really don't like when he sings. I heard somebody say that before. I definitely just stole that. It was just this I can't remember who we were having this conversation, some friends of mine, and someone's like, I don't hate Dream Theater. I just hate it when that guy sings. He doesn't suck. I just hate it when he opens his mouth. I'm just like, all right, that makes complete sense. Anyways, we're just rocking on the Diesel Herbert. Sounds terrific. You know one thing about that song that I never realized? Have you ever watched Max Cavalera play that song? It doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. It doesn't make full sense to me the way if you watch Max Cavalera play Roots, it's like he is picking a whole hell of a lot for a song that I always thought was just it apparently is not. You watch closer and closer, I realize that I've been playing the song wrong for years. It's actually it's weird when he starts going all roots, bloody roots, boots, hiking boots. Doon, 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 doon. One of the most fun songs to play on the drums in the history of fucking drumming. That song on all instruments is just fun as shit. I'd like to say Rise is also fun as shit on all instruments, but that song is really hard on drums. And I can only play that song like Roots on drums. I can play to with real good accuracy. Really good accuracy. Like the whole song, pretty darn good. Or at least I used to be able to. But when it comes to a Rise, nope. Nope. I can play along with it like for fitness purposes, like on an E-kit, but no way. I would say that song for me is like a 50 or 60% accuracy at best. Can I get a show of hands? Who's the drummers in here? Who plays multiple instruments and what do you play? And yes, if you play bass and guitar, I consider you to be a multi-instrumentalist these days, because it's almost like every guitar player has now just said, fuck playing bass. I would rather go for hours and hours with a bass MIDI instrument rather than learning how to play the bass or buying one. To me, it's very strange. I love playing bass now that I've actually spent more time with a bass. I could never use a bass virtual instrument. Never, ever, 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 ever. I would feel I would feel like a shell of a man if all I was playing was guitar on, if I was using bass and drum as virtual instruments. I think that would make me personally, I'm not saying you have to feel that way. I'm saying for me, it would make me feel like kind of a shell of a man. I would ask myself, when half the music is being played by a robot, you know? I don't know, man. I don't know if I can go that far. the rhythm section starts to sound a little bit too robotic to me. That's why I like playing bass along with pre-made MIDI by real drummers. I don't like programming MIDI anymore. It's too easy to snap it to the grid, and then you end up with robot drums, robot drums, robot drums. Watch me play drums, robot drums. When I with real drummers that pre-record this MIDI to a click track, however, you get the little flips and flirps and things that are not like definitely not to a grid, which means it sounds more like a real drummer. So if I play the bass myself with the pre-made MIDI that's meant to emulate and take the robotic nature out of MIDI, that to me almost can really trick people. If you are, but if you start using a bass virtual instrument along with the drums, I don't know. To me, that's just a little too much. But you guys, if you feel that's a good workflow for you, I am not making fun of anyone. I'm just saying for me, I just don't know if I could do it. I used to hate playing bass. And for some people, I get it. If you hate playing bass, go for the virtual instrument, I guess. But I would say, my friend told me, he's like, spend some time really learning how to play bass. Get yourself a nice bass instead of just that beater that's set up like shit with old ass strings. You're never going to like playing bass if all you're playing is that shit bucket, you know? So I did. I bought myself the Woody bass that you guys saw at the last stream, and it ended up being okay. So that's my theory on that. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. 13 people. Come on, guys. Jazz it up in here. It's Friday. Kyle Hunter. Yeah. Stoked. Kyle Hunter. It is the weekend. Is fucking Royal Rumble. My favorite PLE has been since the very first one when I was a kid. I've always loved Survivor Series, but I will say they need to go back to the old Survivor Series format, because fuck the whole War Games thing. It's over. It's old. Not everything from the Monday Night Wars days that you purchased through the WCW needs to be rehashed. Not all of it needs to be rehashed. Some of it does, though. And I love the idea that they give a lot of it to NXT. That's ripping. Hell yeah, folks. All right, so we're using the Ds right now. We're going to get rid of the diesel. There's a couple more strums, though. We'll go to channel 3 here so you guys can hear even more of the heavy. Although I will admit that I love channel 2 a whole bunch more than channel 3. I like channel 3. It's good, but you'll see. I actually prefer channel 2 with the gain mod or the gain boost, whatever you want to call it. And that's just for me, though. Hold on. There we go. Like, if you want to get this thing to get really, really heavy, I think the channel 2 sounds more articulate and a little bit more, there's just more clarity. Whereas with channel 3, it's just definitely more about handing your ass to you and or knocking your teeth out, which is also fine if that's what you're looking for from a plugin. Really depends on you, right? That's actually an old song of mine. It's funny. Every once in a while, I will play an old riff and it'll just have that moment of, oh, hey, I remember that riff. As I was saying in one of my last streams there, I'm trying to get better at guitar, so I'm actually playing more. And I never play more than I do if I see we like to watch stuff in the evening. And I really should be, instead of working myself to the, like, where I'm sitting on my laptop working until like 9:30 sometimes, whatever. Sometimes I just need to pick up a guitar and play more. I'm never going to get better. It's like disc golf. I always tell my friends, you got to go out and do field practice. I mean, if you're not a disc golfer, that's fine. If you've never heard of the sport, that's cool too. But if there's probably a course in your area, and you probably enjoy it if you tried it. Anyways, I always tell people, and it's any sport though, any sport, it doesn't matter which sport you play. Even if it's not a sport, it could be a hobby, it could be shooting, it could be archery, whatever it is. But if the only time you're doing it is when if you're not practicing, and the only time you're doing it is like, say, when you're playing around or if you're doing this and that, if you're not actually practicing, you won't get any better if you're only just like if you're a guitar player that only plays guitar when you play shows. That used to be my old singer. And my old singer would just classically, he would almost never practice, and he would only pull his guitar out, and he would only play his guitar during shows. Really, I mean, even when we practice as a band, sometimes he would even just sing, and you're like, man, play your guitar. He's like, I don't know, I don't really want to. I know the songs, and you know the performance. He still played them well, but not as well as he probably could have if he just sat around and just practiced once in a while. So I really got to get back in the habit of practicing what I preach and practicing more often. Now, if I go back to channel 2, to channel 3 again. So you guys be the judge. You guys go get it. What I've done here is I have bypassed this. And if you're wondering, a lot of people don't know how to bypass these. They don't think you can. Why? Because the bypass option is at the bottom of the fucking list. And it takes, let's count it, folks. Ready? And go. Oh my God, we finally got there. Woo! I'm hungry now. Like literally, I feel like I just went on a hike. It says no recording chain at the very bottom. But to get to that easier, what I usually do is just go to the first preset here and hit the backward arrow, and you're just there without having to go through that whole fucking process. Some of the newer ones, however, have the RC off button, but these do not. They never really updated them at all. They just got them perfected. And the beta team over there, by the way, thanks so much to Brainworks and Plugin Alliance for having me as a beta team member for like a decade plus now. It's been such a blast to test things out. There's zero chance that they're watching this. Absolutely none. But I still want to say thank you nonetheless, because they've always been really cool about it. And it's a fun thing to be part of. I think they use Discord now, so that basically erases the whole possibility that I used to be able to kind of be part of the forum there, but they erased the forum and went to Discord. I don't know why they did that. Can I see a show of hands out there for people that just, is Discord just a Gen Z thing? I don't know. I'm confused. Am I old? Is this just something I don't get? Or is it just that there are some people that just don't like the format of things on Discord? I can't really get used to it. I find it very... I'm confused. I don't know where I am. I just want to go home. You know, that kind of thing. You only play guitar in triangle? 15 people in the house. Anyways, you heard some ripping tones here from this, and we are going to go and get away from it. Now, we're going to end our stream with some freebies. 2 freebies, one being Jambi. I'm going to use that first because I've already got the signal chain all figured out. Anyways, this is a freebie you can get from Vitar Amps, Windows only. And this is surprisingly ended up being one of my favorite free amps of all time. It's super versatile, and it's very, very good at what it do. I'm just going to set it up, basic for the moment. It's meant to be sort of an homage to sort of, apparently like, Adam Jones? That's Tool guy, right? Adam Jones? Yeah. It's meant to be kind of an homage to his tone, a little blend of Diesel magic and Marshall magic in here. And so this is pretty solid tone already. I haven't added the pedal yet, but you got to be careful with this amp when you're boosting it, because it can start to bite a little too much in the mid. So don't be using those OLA settings and smashing everything to what, to 10 and the dirt on 0, I would, tend to want to keep it around 6 maybe or so. I would always say the volume is kind of to taste, and the drive, I always like using just a very pinch of the drive to add a little bit more bite, as I prefer lower to mid output pickups as opposed to getting the real high output stuff. Okay. So if you're more of a fan of modern tones, I don't know how much it sounds like Tool, but if you're a fan of more modern stuff, this is definitely going to get some dejunt. It sounds pretty darn good. Sounds pretty tasty. It's free. Again, VTAR amps. Whoops. Wow, it's sounding pretty solid though. Sounds pretty good. You have to get a little bit more low end there. Wow, that's sounding pretty tasty to my ears. I don't know about you guys, but the plugin alliance went bankrupt. Interesting. I wonder what happens to all those plugins. Did they go bankrupt? I know they sold. I know they bought from, I don't know who owned it. There was a guy named Dirk and some other fella. I don't know exactly. There's some fellas that did own it. I know they sold it to somebody, and I'm guessing that business venture did not go incredibly well. Which really sucks because, Jesus, there's a lot of great software there. I wonder what happens to that software. Wow. That's kind of shocking to me. What happens to that software? I wonder what happens. I'm very curious to see what happens to it at this point, because that's a lot of software to go bye-bye. Some of the best software ever made. Not just for guitar and bass, but for like everything. Signal processing, production, compression, everything you could ever imagine. If you've never been on Plugin Alliance, like, Jeebus, I'm not being paid by them by any means. I'm always here for you guys. I'm just on their beta team. I'm literally a nobody to these people. But like if you look at even just like what's here, the black box, this is a sick plugin. You get, I think you get the Mag EQ4 for signing up to for an account. You sign up for an account here and you get on their mailing list. I think they give you a huge bunch of plugins just right off the bat. They've got some metric AB is awesome. It's an AB kind of thing where you can play two signal sources and kind of see where they differ. It's very cool. I used it for a bunch of different things. When I'm really trying to nail a guitar tone or a mix, sometimes I will use this to analyze another mix. You put another mix through it and then you run it on your channel. You can load up the other track. It's really cool. And it looks like there's a bit of a sale going on right now, but not one of their huge sales. So there's tons and tons and tons and tons of stuff. Like, look at it all. Like, there's just endless. I get emails all the time. Also, these console, these channel strip and console plugins are awesome. I've got all of these installed, and I regularly use them on mixes in kind of a weird way. I will leave them on with no. Sometimes I will take one of these and put it on certain tracks, and I will just leave it all at everything at basically 0. And the essential idea there is you're passing the signal still through that console, and you're getting the signature feeling of that. And there is a difference, and sometimes it can be subtle, and sometimes it can be pretty substantially cool. I often use their Neve plugin on a few different things. Their Neve console plugin. So yeah, check these out. And you don't even really have to. Some of them are kind of complex, but not super complex. So check them out. Lots of stuff. So let's just want to show you guys the guitar stuff before we over here. And so what is the price on the amp I was just using? $40 right now is that diesel. $40 the Herbert. And all I did was bypass the cab and use my own cab and pedal. And if you're not scared of building your own signal chain, unless you're glued into your suites and you absolutely must have the suite and you cannot possibly build the signal chain in the DAW, it's just too hard. Just kidding. But if you absolutely cannot do that, I don't know if this plugin will be 100% for you, especially if you require a boost and such. It's not going to have all the modern fixins, but it's definitely 100% worth $40. That's crazy. But I've seen it as low as I think 20. The Friedman HBE here is, or sorry, the BE100 is not good. This is the only one I would say is a no purchase. There's always going to be a dud in every single developer. Every one of their selections is going to have a dud, and sometimes that dud is buried, and sometimes because they have so many products here, it doesn't matter. Who gives a fuck if they have one dud? That's a pretty good ratio. There's only one plugin here that I would say is a real dud. These are amazing. The Fuchs Audio, these are amazing. They're all $40 right now. The rocker gain is truthfully an awesome orange, superb right there. These two angles are awesome. More so this one. The Chandler is a super weird amp that we've showcased a couple of times. It does Doom. It does like Queens of the Stone Age, White Stripes, that sort of stuff. Do check it out. I definitely would go and check all that out. So we're going to get to a couple more tones before we get out of here. I'm going to be here for another 20 minutes or so. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask. I am here to answer your questions the best I can. Slow day today in the comments. That's okay. Native Instruments was who it was by. Native Instrument was who bought it, and it went bankrupt. Please check my Chemical Romance. Welcome. I can't do that for you. Please check Amply. I don't know what you mean by that. Waleed? Is that your name, Waleed? Nice to see you. Nice to meet you, Waleed. My name is Tyler. Welcome to the AmpSim universe and the AmpSim show. We're very excited to have you here. It's awesome. Fridays is sort of a free-for-all. We don't really know. We never know what's going to happen on Fridays. So that's what it's going to be. Is Friday from now on is just guitar hangs. And whatever we do, we do. Whatever we talk about, we talk about. We talk a lot on Fridays. So if you're not into talking and you're not into like interacting, maybe not is going to be as much. But on Saturday mornings, like tomorrow morning, I'm going to be on here about 10 o'clock a.m. with you guys doing a stream. It's going to be fun. We are going to be probably after some more rock tones tomorrow. Nice and chill. We'll get up and we'll do some things like that. I was thinking about going over, pop punky type tones or skate punk type tones and listening to some of that. It's probably going to be what we're doing tomorrow. So skate punk being a huge, huge, huge part of my life, has been for the better part of 30 plus years. No, 33 years now. I've been listening to skate punk. Holy shit, I'm old. All right, let's go back to Jambi. This is so free. It's free and it's just so good though. Fuck. All right, let's try that again. Yeah. I just can't nail the pinch harmonics all the time like y'all. Anyways, this is sounding delicious. Can we agree that this is a pretty solid tone? Like I'm feeling like this is kind of a top tier tone for a free plugin, a $9.99 IR, and a pedal. I actually don't know how much the Dead Horse Overdrive is on its own right now, but this plugin is 100% worth every dime. But not, there are a lot of tube screamers out there, but this one definitely does sound different. It's a different vibe if you're actually utilizing it correctly. As you turn the attack up, things get more and more awesome too, so give that a shot. It's instant genty type tone, and that's an uncomfortable amount of mids for me, so we're gonna just get rid of some of those. That is super, like, now I kind of wish I had that low F, the F sharp again. It's so just so on the edge of being irritating kind of thing. Wow, beefy. Anyways, Jambi's got the beef. You can go get it from VTAR Amps, VTAR Amps. Made by a lovely fella named Vadim Taranov. Does some awesome stuff. Really nice fella. Deserves your business. Go and check out his stuff. And to end this stream today, we are using the Aurora DSP Nosferatu. And this is also 100% free. You can go get this for $0.00 right now. It kind of changes the game a little bit with freeware. It's kind of awesome. It's got it's a whole package, and it's just another serious crusher that you can go and get for $0.00. All right, so let's check this out. Let's tune our guitars here first. When I say our, I mean collectively. We are all here together, so I want to make sure that it doesn't suck. This guitar is usually pretty good for tuning, although the low string has been the only string that's been giving me a little bit of shit. It's sounding all right so far. Oh! What was that? Oh, I knocked my fast fret. Oh no! It's down. Let's bring the lows back a little. That sounds pretty good. Make sure I'm in tune here though first. Anyways, what do you guys have planned for your weekend? Our weekend is, we have something unique going on. It's fun. We are, because this is the Sunday where the NFL doesn't play before the Super Bowl, they give the athletes a chance to recover, practice, and just chill out a little bit, get their heads in the right space to do the Super Bowl. It's going to be fun. We really get excited about the Super Bowl in this household, even though neither one of our favorite teams are in the Super Bowl, because, you know, the Steelers, they just didn't have what it took this year. But this weekend they don't play. So what we're doing is we're filling the weekend with dad movies, and we're actually having our fathers pick a couple of movies for us to watch, and then we're going to throw our own in. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see which movies the dads will pick. She's thinking her dad is going to pick the Blues Brothers, which would be fucking spectacular because that was a great movie that I'd love to watch. Although I will admit, watching it in like a high quality, when you've seen it so many times on like a VHS format, is really strange to see it in like real high resolution. It's super strange. The last time I saw it, we actually watched this like high resolution version. I'm like, it's uncomfortable to me. Anyways, where I'm thinking my dad is going to pick something like The Hunt for Red October, which also wouldn't be bad. I'll get a lot of guitar playing done in that movie, I'll tell you. This thing sounds pretty good. We can turn this off as well and get a kind of a different vibe when turning the power amp off. You can also switch this to this side. Gives you a bit of a different vibe of how things can sound. Flip what I believe is a 6L6 back into play, and it's... I realize I'm clipping her. Then you can turn this off altogether and turn the cab off altogether and use your own IR altogether if you'd like. No, thank you. No. No, the Chacho is not available on free trial just yet. Because it's in beta and it's a pre-release version, this is it's straight up. You're paying to get in on it early, just like you would with like a Call of Duty, an early Call of Duty beta when they put those out, and there's going to be some bugs, but you're going to get to play the game early, and it's kind of fun. So that's kind of like in a situation like that. Whereas there's several more pedals coming and more cabs, potentially different cabs. It's going to be a really, really strange thing. Also, we're working on different skins for the amps as well for release. So you'll be able to change the skin of the amp from green to potentially snake skin to potentially this, that, and the other thing, which is a very unique feature that I think is going to make it a lot of fun. Since Shay at This Heavy Earth makes so many different, if you go and look at the page, you see all the different flesh rots that fly out of there, and some of them are just, they're all different. Like very few are the same. Everybody seems to go with something. The only thing that's been this very, kind of the the one common denominator has seemed to be the green, the slime green. A lot of people have opted for that. And this thing is actually quite small. If you notice the pictures from NAM, the amp is like this fucking big, dude. And the screen that Eddie had the plug-in on was like the size of 2 of the amps. So it worked like a big sign for the company too, because people would wander over apparently and be like, what's that green thing? Oh, that looks neat. And it brings people over and you're like, oh, that's a plug-in. That's the amp. Oh, isn't that cool? It's so small. You know, like it's, Eddie, was that kind of like part of the weekend where was that happening a lot? Oh man. So we're going to turn all 3 things back on. If I don't want that boost, I could easily just turn that off and turn to whichever boost I'd like, making sure the gate, the gate's off. We're good to go there. I can turn whichever boost I'd like on. Oops, hit a couple strings of notes I shouldn't have there. Or the Unify preamp, maybe. That actually needs to come down a little bit. And bring that back. That's sounding pretty tasty. I think we're just gonna stick with that for a minute. I like to Frankenchain. I don't like to stay inside the box, as I've mentioned before several million times in streams. I just kind of like to be free. And you can be free in this plugin, that is for certain. I do think in an update there should be power amp volume, so you're not having to fuck around with the global output. That would be cool. Not gonna happen. See you later, Ton. We will see you tomorrow. Got it. Thanks, Ton and Tyler. Gonna buy it anyway. Aurora DSP makes great stuff. I agree. And so far, people seem to really be liking it, although there are some substantial problems right now. So I would call them substantial bugs into the equation right now. And we're finding them, and we're nuking them as we can get to them. And the full version is being worked on right fucking now. I can't wait. I saw the list of pedals that are going into it was actually slightly different than what was posted on the Aurora DSP website. Although the pedals mentioned there's another plugin. I'm pushing. I'm pushing, and this plugin looks like it's going to come out really well. The flesh rot, and if it does come out the way it that we're hoping, tell me in the comments right now. What would you guys think? I'm just going to run an idea by you. Okay? Can we do that? Thanks, Brimey. I appreciate you, buddy. All right, we're going to let's check these out. Hold on. For example, there's a preamp pedal. So the ones that the situations that Shay is turning when he turns something into an amp. So for example, here he made an amp out of the Flesh Rot V2. So this is the Flesh Rot preamp pedal. He essentially he built an amp around it with this as the preamp. Okay. Now he's also doing that with the Hesher, which is happening currently. He's making a prototype that was actually purchased at NAMM by Dino Cazares from Fear Factory. Also other bands that he's been in. But he purchased it, the amp version of this, and Shay needs to work on it yet. So he's working on the amp version. So essentially what This could be. I would like it to be. I'm just going to put that out there. I would like this to be. And when I say I would like it, I do have a little. I have a little say. I'm working with Shay directly on behalf of Aurora DSP, so we're discussing it. And I would love this to see a similar suite with different pedals. That could be a thing. But tell me what you guys think about this. This is what we're going to get after here, real quick. Something that maybe Shay. He has several preamps. And not all of them are going to be preamps that he wants to turn into an amp. So the ones that he doesn't necessarily want to turn into a full amp, here's the question. Would it be cool? Would you guys dig something like, for example, he's got the Slaughter, which is a Slaughter the Soul PV type tone in a box. Would you guys like to see? Tell me right now in the comments, all 10 people in this chat, you have an opportunity to actually have a say in something that maybe actually gets built because you said so. So this is what we like to do here. I'm going to be throwing ideas by you guys and seeing how the chat reacts to things. So what would you think if, for example, if there's certain preamps that Shay at This Heavy Earth is not planning on building into a full amp? What would you guys think about seeing something, for example, like the Slaughter in a situation like this right here with Nosferatu? What would you guys think about that? Seeing something like that, which is less involved, obviously much cheaper. It would not be free, but it would be much, much cheaper than a full suite. Maybe $30, $40 range, somewhere around there, maybe. And it would involve, for example, a dual cabinet loader, just two. You'll be able to use your own cabinet as well, which I don't think you can in this one, which I would love to change. It's another thing I'm going to propose. I put a pull. Also, it's super easy to just go boop and it's gone. So really, it's not a big issue. So a simple thing where you would see just two IRs. These would not be full cabinets, won't be full amount of mics. These suites will involve mics, full pedals, full boosts, full this. This would involve simply the preamp, a single button boost like you're seeing here, and the visible power section with one tube voicing, potentially just whatever's selected to go with it, or no tube voicing at all, and just the side-by-side two blend cabs that could potentially be made, could come from a very cool developer. So what do you guys think about that? Tell me in the chat. Is that something that you'd like to see? We're very excited though, because it's looking like I'm all over Shay right now, because man, I want to build that Hesher. I want to build the Hesher suite. I've already gone over some of the rad pedals that would be part of it. Another preamp that I would love to see involved would be this. It's the Church Burner. This is a pretty sick pedal too. I'd love to see this come to a plugin near us. But there are so many. He's got 3 different preamps. He's got the Widower here. This could also be another plugin that would be in this format. I think it would be a really sick idea. We will see what Shay said, what Shay says, and man, I very much look forward to more products with this dude. One of the nicest dudes I've met in this various industries that I work inside. He's just so amped about it, and he's got plugin experience that dates way back to the TSE, X50 and the TSE website. If you're not a fan of TSE, you maybe haven't been around plugins that as long as we have, because that was a very prominent company for a while, and Shay goes way back to those days. So I'm very excited to work with an analog developer that has interest in and has a lot of experience in plugins, where that's not always the case. Sometimes you're working with human beings that this is Japanese to them. You know what I mean? This is an alien language. They don't care about it. They just want something with their name on it. That is sometimes what it's like. We're going to send you the gear. You do your magic. We're going to this is what we want to see. This is our demands list. This is the deal and whatever. And then you develop it, send it to them. And then they'll find someone, somebody at the company that's realistically computer savvy will test the plugin. One or two people will test it there to approve it. And then it's out the door. That does happen. Shay is not like that. Shay is he is the kind of guy that he's hands-on. He's really getting into this, and it's just fun to watch how excited he gets. We just sending small updates like, hey man, here's the UI. Oh, it's looking awesome. It looks so good. And I would be so proud if I was an analog developer to work with a company that shows the kind of care that most companies do. There's a lot of plugin companies that take real care and real pride in working with these analog companies, and Aurora DSP is no different. Very proud to work with various analog companies like this heavier. So with that, I am going to let you guys out of here. We went through some rad plugins today. We got it started with Archetype Gojira, got some sick tones with that. Moved on to a bunch of other stuff, both free and paid software that we were building chains today. And building chains is just so much fun. So every Friday you can expect guitar hangs from now on. It's going to be, might be freeware. It might be a lot of talking. We might be looking through some different catalog, even not catalogs, but selections from different companies in the next couple of episodes. We like to talk about new analog products, for example, and who might do the modeling of those. Yeah, that was the one thing I wanted to just show you guys before we were out of here. Shit. Driftwood. Amps. If you haven't seen it yet, I just want to end it real quick with this little atlas. I just wanted to do it. Is it? Do they have? Oh, they don't even have a page for it yet, do they? Amplifiers. Oh, they do. Sick. Okay. Built in collaboration with World. Oh, it's a Mark Lewis product. Oh, you know it's going to be so good. See, that's a name. When I see that name on things, I just know it's going to be good. Everything I've ever used from Mark Lewis, he takes so much pride in his presets. Every preset I've ever used of his was awesome. His tune track expansion was fucking awesome. And he knows how to get stuff sounding good. I could not be more excited about this amp. Here's the thing, though, folks. Driftwood has an association with STL Tones already. So does Mark Lewis. Just going to leave that out there. That's not speculation. I'm just throwing that out there as, hey, who knows? If you've got if you've got like 4,000 euros, you can get one of these bad boys. How much is that? I don't even want to look that up in Canadian dollars. It's ridiculous. I don't even want to know what that's. What is it, like $5,000? Yeah, but we don't know how that shit works though. Licenses are big things, man, and that could have been a one-time thing with Lossy Lammert, although the associations are there. And I would love to see Driftwood amplifier plugins this year. I know they must have a deal in place because I made them an offer on behalf of a developer at one point, and it sounded like at that time they were in the middle of considering a lot of options. This was pre-Lossy Lammert plugin. It was about a year prior to that. But I did reach out to them and make them an offer. And they must have gone with somebody else, because at that time they literally said they were listening to some options, and I think they were just, I can't remember the exact verbiage, but they must have a deal with somebody. And if that happens to be STL Tones, fuck yeah, let's go. Fuck yeah, hell yeah, fuck yeah, let's go. Would it be just part of Amp Hub, or would this be, I don't know. You ask yourselves. It'd be interesting though. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern time, roughly. Between 10 and 11. Sometimes it takes me a little bit time to get moving, but likely around 10 a.m. Going to do some not metal, not chugs. Don't know what we're going to do, but we'll be here. And we'll see you guys then. Cheers, everybody. Thanks so much for spending your time with me on this evening, or whatever time it is for you. I will definitely see you guys tomorrow. Well, let me look at the comments before I go. I left yesterday damn it. I left yesterday just as somebody said something that I wanted to answer, and I had already ended the stream. Hold on. You have the church burner pedal and it fucks. Nice. Don't use it anymore, but used it for Noel when I filled. Okay, got it. Count me in. I'm liking the single pedal page. Nice. A big fan of the Schecter thumbnail. Thanks for the streaming, dude. Anyways, I will see you guys tomorrow morning. Cheers, everybody.
Por el camino del desierto, el viento me despeina, suave aroma de colita, no nada del aire. Ella de lo lejos, una luz en tela, la idea de mezclar. Te vi por en la noche, ella estaba a la entrada y la campana de sonar. Y me dijo ya mismo, esto puedo del cielo. Ella enciende una vela y nuestra de camino. Somos el corredor y yo te dije diciendo: he venido del California, such a lovely place, such a lovely place. He venido del